Okay, good evening, everybody. It's Mr. Rolldaddy here. Got the Hawkeye tie on, suits on, and very, very big game this weekend. I think we all know that. And the reason why is, of course, if you live under a rock, it's because Iowa is playing in the Big Ten championship game against the Michigan Wolverines this Saturday. This is a huge game and one I want Iowa to win so badly. I was at that game 2 years ago when Michigan just whooped on Iowa and it broke my heart. But this year, I want it to be so much different. So here we go. Now again, I do pregame, offense, defense, special teams, and then the big roll of the week. Let's get going. Now, again, just remember, all the views in this video are completely my own. They're not representative of the University of Iowa, opposing school, media outlets, conferences, athletic departments, or anything whatsoever. I'm ultimately a just for fun sports analyst, so let's go. Now, pregame here. Iowa can absolutely win this game. It's just a matter of having that grit to win. You know, if Iowa can just slow down Michigan's offense enough, Iowa can go out and they can go win the Iowa way again. And look, this is the end of the Big Ten West. Let's just show this whole world it's not a division and that it's something that Iowa's able to go above and beyond for and able to be the best. And I'm extending pregame a little bit this week because, look, this is last year the Big Ten is like this. As going forward, right after Saturday's game ends, it is going to be a lot harder for all the Big Ten teams from here just to even make it to the Big Ten championship game. The reason why is kind of obvious because the Big Ten is becoming this mega conference. There's not going to be any more divisions next year, and I'm just going to say, who even knows when the next time Iowa's going to be on this stage for the Big Ten championship game will be. And even if you're not an Iowa fan or you're a Big Ten traditionalist, you got to think, who even knows when the next time even schools like Michigan, Wisconsin, or Ohio State, like, who even knows when those schools are going to be on the stage next for the Big Ten championship game? It's an end of an era. So I'm just going to say, look, we really got to enjoy this game while it lasts. As, again, this Midwest Conference that I've had all my life of the Big Ten, it's now becoming a mega conference that's going from coast to coast. And I'm just going to say, enjoy it while it lasts because the new Big Ten's coming in just a couple months. And let's just go win this game. Because this conference is being restructured, reshaped for many years, and who even knows who else is going to come. In the last year where the Big Ten is just the traditional Midwest Conference, let's have Iowa go out and be the best of them all. Now, I'm gonna stop talking. Let's just get down to the business. Offense. Iowa's got to win the time of possession battle this week because first key for the Hawkeyes to win is just for them to limit Michigan's opportunities. They got to do it by pounding the ball in the running game. They got to get the yards and push through. Now, again, another thing I'm going to say is, even if Iowa does not score themselves, well, at least the defense backs up Michigan enough. At least they take some time off the clock. At least they have less time to go and try to win the game. Now, second offensive role key, screen passes. Last time Iowa won against Michigan, 2016. I remember exactly what the play was. C.J. Beathard, he got a touchdown pass to Akram Wadley before half. It was just a perfectly executed screen pass. Screen blocking, the routes, everything was all there. So get those screens in and execute them all. I know I may not have wrote this, but the blocking's got to be well on the screen passes too. This is a very simple way to get yards against this defense and to control the time of possession battle this weekend. Now, there's obviously more than just the running plays and screenplays, as we all know. There's times and occasions where you want to or you have to pass the ball down the field. So, quick pass protection sets. Michigan, they've got a scary trio of pass rushers. They got Jalen Harrell, Josiah Stewart, and Derek Moore. I mean, they're all highly skilled at taking down the quarterback. All three of those lead the team in sacks. So, I'm just going to say, pass protection sets, they must be quick this weekend, because one thing I remember from when I was in Indianapolis 2 years ago watching that game, Iowa did not do the greatest of jobs taking on Aiden Hutchinson, David Ojabo, and everyone else who Michigan had to rush the passer. They had a rough time, and one thing I noticed while they were rough is not everyone got out of their pass protection stances quick enough, and that hurt them when they were facing Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo a couple years back. So all of our offensive linemen, they got to be quick at those pass protection sets on Saturday. Okay, now we are finally on to the defensive side of the ball. First, I'm going to say Iowa's got to put double safeties on Blake Corum. While watching that Ohio State-Michigan game last weekend, there was something I noticed about one of Blake Corum's scores, and this guy scores quite a lot. He is a superstar running back, and he's a genuine running back that's hard to replace in this day and age. So I saw that Ohio State, they just left a safety isolated on him while he was out in the open field. Given how dynamic of a runner this guy is, the defensive backfield should not be left with one man alone to stop him. Now, my second defensive role key, disrupt J.J. McCarthy. As look, when it comes to all-time great football upsets, there's really one game that comes to my mind, and that's, of course, going back to when I was in 4th grade, Super Bowl 42, when the Giants upset the undefeated Patriots. One thing that stood out to me while I was watching that game, and it stood out to me even more as I've gotten myself more into football since the 4th grade, the Giants just emphasized and placed pressure up front against Tom Brady. They really gave him less time to throw. They wanted to sack him. They even designed blitzes to make him throw quickly. And I'm going to say our defensive coordinator, Phil Parker, needs to be the 2007 New York Giants defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. He has to be him. And I already know he is probably even better than Spagnuolo as a D coordinator. He's got to just have that great defensive game plan involving the pass rush, because knock him down. Get J.J. McCarthy down. Don't give him time to throw. Make him guess. Do all that stuff. If so, Iowa's got a good advantage. Now, my third defensive role key, watch for that trick play early. Because, again, I remember from the seats 2 years ago, Iowa's defense, it was only a 7-0 game, and even though it was 7-0, Iowa's defense was doing pretty well with holding down Michigan's offense, but they got themselves into a bigger hole because of a trick play. Donovan Edwards, who is still on the Wolverines, he's one of their other running backs for Michigan. He took the handoff and he just threw it deep to Roman Wilson, who was wide open for a touchdown. And then Michigan went up a quick 14-0, even though Iowa was lights out on defense. So, seriously, if Michigan tries that again, I would not be shocked one bit. Especially if they do so early in the game or while the game is very close in the second half. So, Iowa's defense, they just got to watch for that trick play to happen while the game is early on or while the game is very close. Special teams, 1985, 2016, maybe 2023. So, notice something in common? 1985 and 2016, Iowa beat Michigan on a game-winning field goal with no time remaining. And I'm going to say if Iowa wins this game, they may need a game-winning field goal again to happen. So, whether they do Drew Stevens or whether they do Colin Marshall Meter, who was our hero, well, one of our heroes, I would say, with how we won against Nebraska, though Marshall was just the one that ultimately kicked the game-winning field goal. Those guys need to be ready to become an Iowa legend at any given moment. If they're called on to make that game-winning kick, they got to be ready to get legendary status with the school for the rest of their lives. Kick that field goal through the uprights, sink Michigan when they're called on for a game-winning field goal. And it is that time again, Rolldaddy's Big Roll of the Week. Again, this is an interesting strategy, formation, trick play, or otherwise surprise tactic, which I would use if I was an Iowa coach to potentially catch the opponent off guard and or give an unexpected advantage to the Hawkeyes. Again, each big roll can only be used once in a season, and I cannot use the same big roll of the week as I did for this opponent last year. But anyways, new feature this week, I have all my big rolls of the week that I've used this year. All of them are here listed for you. So now, you've seen everyone I've used this week. Let's get to, for this year, let's get to mine for this week right now. A flea flicker pass. So, it's a classic trick play. One that has been used for many years when teams want to trick the defense. So, Deacon Hill, he'll just hand the ball off to LaShawn Williams. Williams pitches it back to Hill, and then Williams is going to throw the ball. Deacon Hill. Deacon Hill throws it deep down the field. Maybe he even gets a touchdown out of it. Even if not, he'll get several yards. So here's what I'm thinking. When the Hawks have the ball around midfield, either after getting a new first down, but not when the drive is just starting, do it after you've called the run plays and short passes to get you that first down, or on a second or third down play with 15 plus yards to go. That's when Iowa's got to go dig deep into the playbook on what I'd say in this offense would be the very last page. Do something that has not been seen all year. Do that flea flicker pass. Get some yards, maybe get a touchdown. So thank you for watching. Let's win this game and let's go Hawks. And whether you are going to Indianapolis for the game this weekend, watching it at home with family and friends, or you're going to your local Hawkeye bar for the watch party, just keep your good Hawkeye spirits up because we're going to need them. Always keep believing. So let's go win.